We'll be speaking in just a moment to the KZN Cogta officials just to get a sense of what's happening on the ground as the official death toll from the Christmas Eve flood in KwaZulu-Natal now sits at 45 people are still missing after heavy rains left a trail of destruction in parts of that province. The provincial government says more than 600 households were affected with over 140 dwellings destroyed. Uthukela district is said to be the worst affected. And with most of the fatalities reported there, most of the homes that were damaged were in uMgungundlovu. Joining me now is KZN Cogta spokesperson Nonala Ndlovu. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. KZN disaster management teams have had their hands full since Christmas Eve. It's been a tough couple of days. How did we get the death toll to 40? How did that happen?
Well, risen to 40, and this includes all districts in KwaZulu-Natal. We include people that perished in the Ladysmith floods. We include people that were struck by lightning in Eshowe and in Okahlamba, Uthukela district, and we include all other people that we have received reports that have perished during this time since the start of December.
Now, we do know that thunderstorms were also part of the increase in the death toll. Talk to us about what happened in that story.
We received a report that on the 3rd of January, we received a report that farm workers were going about their daily business when they were struck by lightning, and 2 people lost their lives in that incident, while 4 people were critically injured and others sustained minor injuries. About 50 people were affected there. As I've indicated, 2 people perished in that incident. But we did receive also reports that people in other areas, like Eshowe, where one person was struck by lightning. Those are the incidents that we've received that include lightning strikes.
What are some of the biggest challenges you'd say you're grappling with at the moment, as you try and ensure that the rescue mission is on track?
Well, now it's been a bit better in the last couple of days because the rains have subsided. But what had been the greatest challenge is that for almost 2 weeks we had ongoing rains, and that made the mission very difficult for the rescue teams, because it was difficult to continue with the search and rescue while the waters were raging as the rains were continuing. Now the rains have subsided a little bit, and we're hoping we'll continue on that trajectory, and the rescue missions will continue to look for the missing persons.
How far would you say you've come as you continue to count the costs, not just in terms of the tragic loss of lives, but infrastructure damage and economical loss? Where are we standing?
The economical and infrastructural losses, we haven't really had figures being determined, because the main issue was the search and rescue missions. The teams are continuing with the assessments in terms of the other issues, but now we are going to, I think by the beginning of the week, we are going to start getting proper figures in terms of the infrastructure damages and also the economical damages that we've suffered during this time.
Infrastructure, I mean, that was already limping in terms of counting the impact of the April 2022 floods. What efforts would you say you've made as a department to now mitigate the risks of natural disasters, which continue to claim so many lives and disrupt so many households? Surely the catastrophic April 22 flood should have been a very clear indication of what you'll be up against in the future.
The thing is, the April floods, they affected mainly eThekwini, and now with these floods, or the latest incidents are happening outside of eThekwini, and different kind of damages are being experienced. It's quite difficult because each time, like in Uthukela, it was something that was really sort of unexpected, because it was a river, and then roads in that nearby area were affected mainly. People's houses were affected. So it's really difficult to say that we are ready and nothing is gonna get damaged now, because we can never really predict the extent of the damage that's going to happen, and we can never say that now our roads are stronger or our houses are stronger. It's a difficult situation, Mpo. I really must say that to be ready and say that the infrastructure is not going to be affected, we're ready, that the infrastructure is not going to be affected, is difficult. But what we have done is at the beginning of the summer season, all municipalities are urged to really strengthen their disaster management readiness, and also to make sure that the stormwater systems, the stormwater drainages are cleared, because that is some of the causes of the flooding, and we try and clear the debris that will exacerbate the flooding. But be that as it may, we still experience the damages, and we still experience damages to houses. We just urge people not to build near the riverine areas, and also to be quite cautious when the rain starts, and create channels around their houses, around their homes, so that the water, if there is heavy rains, the integrity of the structures is not really affected.
How many people would you say are now homeless as a result of these floods, and where are they being housed?
There's about 140 houses that were completely destroyed during this time. Fortunately, none of the people have really had to be housed in mass care centers or in community halls, because people are really residing with their relatives, or in some instances, because it's mostly rural areas that are affected. Even if a house in a household has been totally destroyed, you'll find that there is another dwelling in the same household that is still intact, and people are able to still use those dwellings. But people are, in the main, they are residing with relatives and neighbors, and none of them had to be housed in community centers.
Yeah, because, I mean, if that had happened, surely it would have been another disaster, because there are still some people who are still being housed after being displaced from the April 2022 floods.
That's true.
Okay, perhaps let's leave it there for now. KZN Cogta spokesperson Nonala Ndlovu giving us a sense of what the situation is on a leading developing story in KwaZulu-Natal as the death toll now rises to 40.